During the long, silent hours of a house restoration, it's not uncommon for secrets of the past to drift up from the dust and shadows. But nothing could have prepared the workers for what they uncovered that day in the attic. Behind a warped wooden panel, sealed away with old nails and cobwebs, they found something strange, an object that seemed to hum with a presence of its own. It was a journal, thick and weighty, its cover the color of dried blood, its clasp barely holding against time's relentless pull. As it was opened for the first time in decades, the air seemed to change. A faint, uneasy breathing echoed in the silence, as if the house itself was remembering. The pages inside were a strange collage of curling script and smudged stains, the ink so dark it looked as if it might still be wet. Some stains, unsettlingly, were a deeper red, seeping through the fibers of the paper, evoking the unmistakable image of blood. The words danced between languages, some in flowing English, others in harsh, clipped Latin. In the margins, symbols twisted and turned, their meaning lost to all but those who knew how to read the signs. It quickly became clear that this was no ordinary diary. It belonged to the house's original owner, a doctor whose reputation in town had always been shrouded in rumor. Neighbors spoke of his brilliance, but also his eccentricity, how he walked the halls late at night, how the windows of his study glowed with candlelight long after midnight. Now his secrets stood revealed in his own hand, preserved for anyone brave enough to read them. The entries began innocuously enough, with the doctor describing his medical practice, his fascination with the boundaries between life and death. But soon, the writing took a darker turn. He wrote of a growing obsession, the nature of the soul, and how it might be made to linger in the body, even as the body failed. He spoke of techniques to prolong life, to delay that final separation between flesh and spirit. At first, these experiments seemed rooted in science, but as the weeks turned to months, his methods became less medical and more arcane. He described rituals, strange ceremonies conducted in the dead of night, far from prying eyes. The instructions were chillingly precise. There were diagrams of circles and sigils, lists of rare ingredients, and, most disturbingly, references to the essence of the young. The doctor wrote that children possessed a special vitality, a purity of soul energy, that could be harnessed to anchor the spirit in the flesh. His words were clinical, almost detached, but between the lines, a kind of madness was beginning to show. Some entries were almost illegible, the writing frantic, as if scrawled in a fever. He spoke of visitors, specters at the foot of his bed, voices whispering in the walls, shadows slipping through the corners of the room. He believed these were the spirits of those he had experimented upon, returned to torment him for his trespasses. He wrote of his growing fear, but also his determination to see his work through to the end. In the margins, he recorded the results of each ritual. Some were failures, subjects who simply wasted away, or who woke screaming from nightmares they could not remember. Others lingered. Their eyes grew dark and hollow, their voices echoing with something not quite human. The doctor seemed both horrified and fascinated by these results, ever more desperate to perfect his methods. It was clear that these were not mere spiritual healings. The ritual,